NFL free agency is here. Day one set to get started in a couple hours, or maybe you're watching this right now. And we're going to talk about the latest rumors for the Miami Dolphins heading into free agency on today's episode. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. And, well, depending on when you're watching this, we might already be live, but make sure you are subscribed and join us for our day one coverage of free agency surrounding the Miami Dolphins. This is our thumbnail. We're going live 1 hour before 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central Time. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you join us for our coverage because we are the number one spot for Dolphins content during free agency week. I do want to make this note going into free agency. It's important to note that the Dolphins currently sit at $25.1 million in cap space. That is according to over the cap after the Bradley Chubb restructure, the Teron Armstead restructure, the releases of Durham Smythe, Raheem Mostert, Kendall Fuller. That's where things stand, at least going into Monday afternoon. Now, it was at $28 million, but that has went down to $25 due to this move that happened on Saturday afternoon. Kader Kohou, the restricted free agent. The Miami Dolphins placed their right of first refusal tender on Kohou. This is something that we projected for the longest time, and we talked about it very briefly on a short, which is why you also need to be subscribed. Now, this does not mean he is officially coming back. He is currently on the books on a one-year, $3.2 million deal. If some other team out there signs Kohou to a multi-year contract, the Miami Dolphins, because of that tender, will be allowed to match that to retain Kader. But if no one signs him, he can just sign that tender, and he'll be back on the Dolphins on a $3.2 million deal, which is something Dolphins fans should be excited about. He played extremely well in Anthony Weaver's defense last season, especially down the last 4 games of the season. And for a team that needs cheap, productive players, $3.2 million for a good nickel corner that may have safety long-term projection. Yeah, I'm going to be okay with that. All right, let's get over to the juice here surrounding the Dolphins because Miami has been very quiet in the rumor mill heading into free agency. But Dianna Russini sparked things up on Sunday afternoon, saying that while the interest of Joey Bosa going with his brother Nick Bosa in San Francisco, there is strong interest from the Miami Dolphins on the former top 5 pick, the former defensive rookie of the year, who just was released by the Los Angeles Chargers. Russini makes the note, well, the Dolphins' pass rush wasn't very good last year. Now, I do find this one interesting. Now, we talked about how the Dolphins could target Bosa about 2 weeks ago when it was originally rumored that Bosa was going to be released by the Los Angeles Chargers because he is the only player heading into free agency that has been linked to the Dolphins. Literally nobody. Now, we know Miami is going to be somewhat active during this week filling safety needs, offensive line, defensive line, but Bosa is the only player that has actually been publicly linked to the Dolphins, and we'll talk about him as a player. But this was something that a lot of Dolphins fans had a reaction to on social media over the weekend. So I want to get your thoughts down in the comment section. Do you want the Dolphins and Chris Grier to go out and sign Joey Bosa? It's today's pinned comment. So type S for sign or type P for pass. Now, I do find it interesting what his contract would be because of all of the injuries he has dealt with. It sounds like he would take a one-year deal to try to rehab his value and then extend going forward, or then hit free agency next year. Now, many around the league have projected a one-year, $15 million contract. Now, that would not probably be his cap hit. It would likely be around $6 to $7, $8 million maybe with incentives to get up to 15 mil. That would probably be my projection. But I still think it's interesting that the Dolphins could want to bring him in to this group because Chop Robinson, Jalen Phillips will headline this crew. Chop coming into his second year, Phillips coming off of the torn ACL. Bradley Chubb obviously took the contract restructure, and then you've got this second-year man that was a mid-round pick last year in Mohamed Kamara. So you already have 4 edges that will be on this roster this upcoming year. And now I do think it's going to be something that I could see Miami still looking to address in the NFL draft, but for agency, that comes up a little bit as a shock. Now, Bosa, when he's on the football field, is incredibly productive. Look at the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. But the numbers also speak for themselves in the amount of games that he plays. He simply just can't stay on the football field. This is one of the most dominant edge rushers coming out of Ohio State in his first 4 seasons, but has consistently dealt with injury after injury after injury. Now, I know Dolphins fans are going to say, well, that makes him a perfect fit for Miami because the defense can't stay healthy for the Dolphins. But I do want to make note, if you did sign Joey Bosa, you would have him in rotation with 4 other dudes like Kamara, Phillips, Chop, and Chubb. I mean, yeah, it would kind of diminish their production on a personal level, but they should be able to stay fresh. They should be able to stay healthy because they will be able to rotate them in, out more, and keep their legs fresh, keep them healthier. It could be a dangerous combination. It's a very interesting situation, and I am warming up to the idea. Not sure I love the idea of signing Joey Bosa, though. I have more to come, but we are sponsored by Mando, the #1 whole body deodorant and the only brand I trust to make sure I'm smelling right. And the time for spring cleaning has come, and to be honest, I'm excited for this year. Mando's whole body deodorant gives me confidence when I leave the house, and especially when I'm in public doing athletic activities or meeting out with friends. Mando is safe to use anywhere on your body. It's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO is being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. I got my favorite scent in studio with me today, the Mount Fuji smell. This is the stick deodorant. I use it all the time. It's my personal favorite, but they also got other great ones like Bourbon Leather, Pro Sport, and more. So take advantage of our exclusive deal right now with Mando. $5 off a starter pack with our code CHAT. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. All right, the final thing I'll say here on Joey Bosa, Chris Grier is actually hilarious because Chubb restructured his contract to lower his cap hit from $29 to $13 million this year, saving Miami $16 million in cap space. Well, remember that contract projection we talked about earlier today where it's $15 million? Yeah, I know that wouldn't be the full cap, but it kind of sounds like Chris Grier is going to justify going after Joey Bosa by saying, well, Bradley Chubb was on a $29 million cap hit. Well, he took lesser, and now we could add Bosa, and we could have 2 of them for the same cap hit. I don't know if that's the right line of thinking here. I do think it's where Chris Grier might be going with this. And you might get 2 really productive players for the price of 1 in Chubb and Bosa. But there is skepticism from my side of the fact that he cannot stay healthy, and I am sick of signing old players and veterans that can't stay on the football field. If I am allotting that money, I would rather use it on defensive lineman Jonathan Allen. Allen has been a durable interior defensive lineman for the Commanders over the course of his career. Yeah, he dealt with injuries last season, but that was really the first time in his career. And to me, right now, interior defensive line is a much more bigger need than edge. So if I am allotting $14-15 million on a 1-year deal to a defensive lineman that's a veteran, yeah, I would rather use it on Jonathan Allen over Joey Bosa. But I will say, I think Joey Bosa ultimately will go with the San Francisco 49ers. Anyway, I don't think he signs with Miami. I think the Dolphins really do have interest here, but I think he will want to sign with the Niners to pair up with his brother, Nick Bosa, and kind of go off and try to revalue or re-up his value there. All right, let's shift the conversation to Dolphins' top-owned free agent, that being Jevon Holland, who is the top safety on free agency, and there is a lot of buzz surrounding him right now. One with a division rival. Connor Hughes, who covers the New York Jets, said that the Jevon Holland, Justin Simmons names are popping up for the Jets who have free agency. They're looking to add to that back end, and he says especially Holland. So it sounds like the Jets will be going after the Miami Dolphins safety. But then Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL draft analyst said that the Panthers will be fun to monitor tomorrow. That's coming out yesterday. Carolina has been a team consistently linked and mentioned as a Jevon Holland suitor. Actually, my personal prediction on where Holland signs. There's also teams like the Tennessee Titans. There's teams like the New England Patriots who have been rumored to be interested in Jevon Holland. This is kind of where things stand, in my opinion, when you're talking on Holland. Sounds like a lot of teams want him, right? A lot of cap space with the Jets, the Patriots, the Panthers, these Titans. This is someone who is a young player. I know Miami fans, especially myself, feel a certain type of way about Holland due to his lack of toughness, lack of physicality in the run game down the stretch of seasons, and how he might not be the best locker room fit based off what other players have said, like Deshaun Elliott, Calais Campbell, Zach Sealer. I think a return to the Dolphins is very unlikely because he will get a bag 15, 16, 17 plus per season from a different team. Miami can't afford that, and it sounds like they would rather move on anyway. So it looks like Jevon Holland has officially, now we've said this for a while, played his last game as a Miami Dolphin. But let me know. Predict it for me. Where will Jevon Holland sign in free agency? A couple hours away from potentially finding out. Get your votes in the comment section. I think it's going to go with the Panthers. I tweeted this out yesterday. I know there's buzz with Jets. I know there's buzz with the Titans. I think he's a Carolina Panther. They need some young talent in that secondary to pair up with J.C. Horn. Yeah, he's a corner. Holland's a safety, but they just need a lot of help there. So I think he is ultimately going to be a Panther. Don't hate the fit for them. I'll be honest. I'd be intrigued to see what happens if he goes to the Jets, playing him twice a year. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I will round out the show with this. Something I also tweeted out. Roley's predictions for NFL free agency. These are the 6 names that I think Miami will ultimately sign. Now, I know a lot of people think it's going to be hard to sign 6 players. Well, when you restructure more contracts and you backload multi-year deals, yeah, you're able to fit it in this year in the cap number. I think Talanoa Hufanga is a top safety to keep your eye on. Yes, I would rather have a guy like Andre Cisco or Julian Blackmon, but I am predicting that Grier will go after Hufanga. I think he likes him. I do think the Dolphins signed Jonathan Allen. I think there's interest from Miami's side. It's been reported that they've had interest in the past. I think they could go out and get him on a 1-year deal. I think they re-signed Tyrell Dodson, and I think they addressed the offensive line in a big way. James Daniels, 1-year contract coming off that Achilles injury, good run blocker, fits Miami system, athletic guy. And I think Chris Grier will also go after Patrick McCarry as a multi-year guy on the interior offensive line. Versatile, can play almost every position on the offensive line. I think a 3-year, $30 million deal for Patrick McCarry could very much be in play. And we know they're going to address cornerback at some point this offseason as well. Dante Jackson, who had a good first season in Pittsburgh, I think could be a solid, cheap option for the veteran to be opposite of Jalen Ramsey. Either way you want to slice it, those are my 6 predictions of the Dolphins will sign. We'll see how I ultimately go. But this is a big week for Chris Grier. $25 million in cap space, so not a lot. The Dolphins need to have a bounce-back season, or McDaniel and Grier could be off of this organization by this time next season. He'll need to address linebacker, off-ball linebacker 2, safety, corner, defensive line, offensive line, backup quarterback. A lot of needs. Not all of them are going to be addressed here in free agency. Some will be left for the draft, but Grier needs to get a good head start, needs to hit on some of these cheap veteran contracts like he did last year. Aaron Brewer, Calais Campbell, Jonnu Smith. Kendall Fuller, I think, was a hit, even though he's not with the roster. He played well in his 11 games. He's going to need to find players that can be good. Jordan Brooks as well. Big week for Chris Grier. And we'll have you covered on everything Miami does live on our free agency live show, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you join us. We'll also have videos, shorts on everything that happens around the Dolphins this week, so hit that sub button.